What if I told you that you can turn your travel passions into a career? Yes, you heard that right, and we're gonna talk about it. Let's get into it. So I have a little bit of a backstory about this topic, and before COVID, I had this big passion for travel. I would be traveling once to twice a month. I felt like I was going on a trip like every 2 weeks, and it was so amazing because I really prioritized experiences over material items. But before COVID, I also had a job where I only had so much PTO, and all the traveling that I wanted to do, the PTO was just not enough. It was basically like 2 weeks of vacation a year. So finally, when I became a travel creator, and we'll get into that, I was able to travel twice a month, like how I was just talking about. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into that. But if you are somebody who feels trapped in a rat race or trapped in a certain job, now is the time to explore other options. 2023 is the year of possibilities and opportunities, and there is no better way to make money on social media than in 2023. So before I get into the tips on how to become a travel creator and work with all of these amazing brands and travel the world, I want to take you back to 2019. So even before then, I was working in this soul-sucking job, had no windows in the office, and I was at the mercy of 2 weeks PTO every single year, and it never increased. So I just like could not wrap my head around that because I had so many wishes and dreams and hopes, and I had this huge passion for travel. So I'm like, there has to be a better way that didn't include just weekend trips and using only 2 weeks of PTO a year. So I kind of got into researching, and I saw this thing that people were doing online, and it was graphic design freelancing. So I actually started my whole business, my whole journey as a graphic designer, just freelancing. And since then I have transformed into so many different things, but that can be a whole nother video. So I saw this world of people making money online and how to become a digital nomad, and I saw all these amazing travel creators on YouTube traveling the world, working with all of these luxury brands. And I feel like back then in 2019, it wasn't as big of a thing as it is now. So that's why I said that like 2023 is full of possibilities. If anyone can do anything on social media, now is the time. There is no better time than starting right now. So anyway, fast forward to April of 2019, I actually took the leap to pursue my freelance business and just being a business owner full time, because at that point, I was actually surpassing my corporate income with freelancing. So I told myself, I was like, I'm gonna graduate college, and then if I'm making more freelancing than I am in my corporate job, I'm just gonna quit. So that is what I did, and I have not looked back since. It has been 4 years now, and it is honestly the best job, and I have evolved so much in my business and career, and I'm teaching you guys how to do the same thing because I feel like I've really mastered this. I have worked with more than 15 different properties and travel brands across the world. I got sponsored to go on a luxury cruise to Greece, like my bucket list destination, with 4 of my friends last year. So I feel like I have a knack for this. So I'm gonna go ahead and get into those tips now. So let's get into how to become a travel creator. So the first thing you actually need to do is determine what type of niche you want to be in. So for example, for me, I recently, in the past year or so, I actually pivoted into the luxury travel space. However, I did not start in this space. I did not have the money to travel in a luxurious way. So I feel like a lot of travel creators just start out with like budget-friendly travel. So there's so many different ways of being a travel creator and different niches to be in. So I have this friend on social media, and she covers hostels, and props to her. I don't think I would ever stay at a hostel or cover that, just because I'm more in the luxury field now. But that is so smart because so many people want to learn how to travel the world in a budget-friendly way. So there's so many different opportunities with being a travel creator and the different niches that are offered. So for example, you can be a budget-friendly traveler, or you can do like unique destinations. You can do just the United States, or you can do just Europe. There's so many different ways to cover things. I know like some people just do tropical destinations, which I think is so cool. cool, but in a way you are limited. So it just depends like how you like to travel. And if you're watching this video, I'm assuming you like to travel as well, because you can't really be a travel creator without actually liking to travel. So after you've done that, you now need to create a brand for yourself. So now you have to get on all those social media platforms. If you're like, okay, I don't have the time to get on like 5 different platforms, I highly recommend just getting on Instagram and TikTok. And for me, since I'm actually not traveling full time right now, I like to create content around my personal brand too. So yes, I post all these amazing travel destinations, but when I'm not traveling, I do post like things I'm doing in myself, and that way I feel like my audience can connect with me a little bit more. I was just on a press trip 2 months ago with 7 other creators, and we all had our own niches, which was so cool. But one girl actually only posted like different travel videos. She never showed her face in any of her content. So if you're like not about being in front of the camera, I think that is such a great idea. For me, that won't work because since I'm not traveling full time, I only have so much content that I take on these trips. So yeah, I highly recommend like posting lifestyle content in there as well, and just like being authentic and creating a personal brand for yourself. Because for me, like this is like my long-term career, my long-term thing. So it's really important to just get out there and show yourself and just be like relatable within your community and build that following and loyal audience. And then next, of course, you have to be posting high quality travel content. Videos are all the rage right now. So if you have any destinations or travel plans coming up, make sure you are taking content, especially if you're just getting started and you're like, okay, I really want to become a travel blogger or travel creator and I just need to get started. So I highly recommend booking a few trips just yourself. Obviously it won't be sponsored just yet, but you have to show like on your profiles what type of content you can create. So that's what I did. And that, like, I just remember so vaguely in the beginning of my journey when I was just getting into like the travel niche, I had this trip that me and my now husband went to. It was to Scottsdale, Arizona, where we actually got married years later. But I had this like whole thing and we stayed at this resort, and I like made him take videos of me like I was freaking sponsored by this property. It was crazy. I was like, oh my God, it's just crazy how far you evolve, and the more you practice your craft, obviously the better you're gonna get. So highly recommend just posting different travel content. You can be videos, it can be photos, and just see what resonates the best with those people that are gonna follow you or the people that see your content. The next thing you have to do is obviously create and cultivate that community and audience. So like I was just saying, building a personal brand was so important for me, and since I really enjoy being like in front of the camera and posting my life, that was super important to me. But depending on what you prefer, you have to cultivate that community and know how to speak to them and really just like engage with them, because those people are going to be your followers that are going to get you those sponsorships and collaborations down the line. But my next tip is a little bit different, and I swear I get so many questions about this, which is so interesting to me. But I always get people asking like, how do you get into this? How did you start? What's your degree? Honestly, I think people are making this so complicated. If you just follow those steps that I literally just talked about, that's how you become a travel creator. But there's more logistics and stuff involved with collaborations and sponsorships, but that is the formula on becoming a travel creator. And people ask me like, oh, like what degree do I need to get into? Like, you don't need a degree to do this type of work. You might just need some experience and practice with creating and photography, maybe videography, but that's literally it. I feel like people just make this so complicated, but I'm literally like, stop, like just post content and practice your craft. You do not need any type of like education to be in this field at all. So if this is something that is so exciting to you and you're like watching this and you're like, heck yeah, I'm gonna become a travel creator, I actually have a mini course. It is under $100. I will link it down in the description box for you guys to check out. It literally tells you how to become a travel creator from scratch, from zero, all my amazing tips and tricks that I followed. I got my first hotel collaboration or my first hotel sponsorship at 3,000 followers. So if you feel like, oh my gosh, I don't have that many followers, I can never get sponsored by hotels and travel the world, I'm not kidding, you can. You just have to provide value to that brand. So the next thing you're probably like, okay, but how do I actually get these collaborations and sponsors sponsorships with tourism boards and hotels. I also do sell my pitch templates, so I will link those again down below. People have been raving about them. They will get you that collaboration that you want with that hotel and tourism board as a travel creator. I have so many amazing success stories of my students that have booked their first ever hotel collaboration, and it makes me so excited because I have been in this industry since 2016 and I have been pitching brands and hotels since 2016, so I feel like I know how to make people respond. It's almost like a science. I've been through a trial and error, so yeah, highly recommend checking those out. Those exact pitches actually got me sponsored to go on my luxury cruise to Greece last year, and I have some amazing collaborations coming up also, so highly recommend Chef's Kiss. The pitch templates are like under $20, I think, so if you're like, I can't spend the $100 right now on your mini course, no problem. Check those out if you just want to learn how to like pitch brands. You literally will just get the pitch templates to pitch brands. So yeah, check those out, link down below. But a few more things I did want to incorporate in this video. I just want to let you know that, like I said, this is really a long-term career and it unfortunately does take time. I know that can be so frustrating when you're so excited about this and you're like, yeah, this is for me. I'm so passionate about traveling. I cannot wait to do this. Yes, it is so exciting. It is so much fun. It is a great career, but it will take time. It does take time, just with anything else and with any other career. It might take a few years, it might take a few months for you to see that first collaboration, but if you just be consistent and take aligned action every single day, you will get there, I promise, because I have been doing this for years and it got me to the point where I am able to get hosted by these amazing luxury properties around the world. So I hope that's motivation to you that you can also do this. Like, I am not special. I started from zero too, so please just remember that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe. I post content just like this every single Wednesday, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!